thank you so much for your patience, for hanging on. Those of you, congratulations. On behalf of the Asia Pacific Sociological Association, I would like to thank the organizers, particularly Dr. Cheyenne and Professor Surichai, and their entire team for organizing such a wonderful conference. It is probably one of the best organized APSA conferences, well attended, and the debates have been wonderful, the presentation of papers, and let you in a secret from publishers. They are just very excited about the various sessions that they've gone to. So undoubtedly they've approached many of you about book proposals and so forth. So that is a reflection on the quality of this conference. So I think, you guys can all pat yourselves on the back. Some audience members have already left, but I think that the association, in terms of its intellectual input, is thriving. And it's really thanks to the organizers for inviting so many people across the region and enabling us to participate in this wonderful conference. I would like to let you know that if you're interested in joining the association, there are membership forms outside, and Professor Pam Nyland is the treasurer who will take your money from you. And it's very reasonable membership. The other exciting announcement that I would like to make is that I will be stepping down as president. There'll be a new committee, and I would like to introduce the incoming president, if she's in the room, Dr. Ampon Jeratikon. Are you here? Ampon? Stand up, stand up. So Ampon will be leading you in the next 4 years to take the association into a new direction and put all her youthful energy into the association. We also have a new secretary, Dr. Saida Zakia Hussain. Stand up. Thank you, Saida. And I can vouch for Zakia's wonderful note-taking ability. She doesn't miss a trick. So all APSA meetings will be reported very, very accurately. That's all I want to say. I just once again want to express my heartfelt thanks to the organizers, and also I would like to thank all of you for participating and making this conference a success. We hope to see you at the next conference, which hasn't been decided yet, but we will have a committee meeting tomorrow morning, and there will be announcements on the APSA website. Thank you once again.
Before we commence our last panel to reflect upon the conference and make a concluding remark, I would like to invite some of the participants to make comments or suggestions, particularly with regard to the proceedings that we are going to produce after this conference. We have to put together the papers together, but we are not going to publish it in a hard copy form. It will be available in the CD-ROM and website. So, but I understand that some papers have not been delivered yet. So what should I do, for example? Or any suggestion on this? President to talk? New talk.
For those people who don't have a full paper, I suggest a shortened version of a working paper, perhaps, if it's going to go into a CD-ROM. And I realize that some people have got publishing commitments. So in order to publicize the emerging sociology in the region, I think it would be very useful to have working papers. That's one way to go. And the other way, of course, is, peer review publications, should it emerge. Thank you.
Okay. Any more suggestions, more comments? I think that means that we should proceed quickly. Okay. Friends and colleagues, again, this is the last moment for us to be together. It has been quite maybe tiring for some of you because the conference has been going on for 2 days from 8:30 or 9 until 5 o'clock. Now, many of you would agree with me that a successful conference depends upon two factors at least. First, the effective organization of the conference and the active participants who are attending the conference. But for this one, I think the participants play a more important role because they come with interesting paper and attitude to share and exchange ideas and experience and knowledge. Also, we're very self-reflexive by themselves, or sometimes even self-criticism. I want to thank all presenters for their valuable contribution, which of course which have increased flows of social science knowledge across borders. And also thank the discussants and the chair who has added or given broader critical perspective, connecting the empirical data to theories, making suggestions to further sociological and policy implication. I'm immensely pleased to have invited the two keynote speakers, Daw Seng Ro from Myanmar and Professor Jonathan Rigg, both of whom gave us stimulating and profound speeches which described the political economic structure, particularly in the case of Myanmar, the military, and for our region, the capitalism which have breed inequality, poverty, labor migration, displacement, resistant conflict in Myanmar and Southeast Asia, respectively. The key speakers in the plenary sessions resonate with the keynote speakers as well, and as well as make very interesting suggestions with regard to the transformative challenges in sociological knowledge about Southeast Asia, or critical sociology of Southeast Asia, or even the self-criticism of the Indian sociology. Some of the issues also can be raised with regard to sociology of Thailand, for example, which I have not heard anyone speaking about this as much. There are issues which has been suggested, or issues which are very urgent, very emerging issue that I would say. For example, the issue of urban and climate change. We have many papers on urbanization and climate change, on ASEAN community and ASEAN community building and integration, for example. We have 44 panels in this building, and social science building. But all in all, these panels deal with several interesting sociological issues, which are such as transnational marriage, culture heritage, discourse analysis, and ASEAN youth issues, culture heritage. So there are issues that has been dealing with critically in this conference. Also, there are discussion about methodological issues that are needed to help us to understand the new phenomena of the transforming society. Not only contestation and, and convergence, but issues like inclusion, exclusion, which are quite represented well in the panel by Surichai, for example. The issue of invisibility, issue of civil society and uncivil society, like Professor Mbong raised this morning. There are many issues that I find that these are quite quite interesting, challenging, and the discussions, papers, presenter, as well as the keynote speaker have suggested to us ways in which that we should look at these issues, suggest some approaches. And of course, most of the suggestions lead to our professional challenge on what we are looking at when we talk about social transformation. I think Professor Jonathan Rigg made a point quite well about the invisible poor. The poor are not counted because they do not count. That's quite a very important observation. Okay, I will leave some of these sociological issue and social science issue to my dear colleague, Professor Surichai. But I would like to take this opportunity to express gratitude to several people. First of all, you have noticed those who wear blue shirts. I call them the blue stars. These are the ones who are the ground level practitioner. They are the one who do the job for me, for us. So what we able to bring the conference to be successful at this level depends so largely upon the preparation of these blue stars 2 months before, and particularly the last 2 or 3 days and the 2 days of our conference. They consist of 2 groups of people. One group is our regular staff at the Faculty of Social Science. The other groups are our graduate students. So they help from preparing the table, preparing the schedule, and also look into the other logistic issues. And all of them are under the responsibility of Kanchana. I'm not sure she's here or not, but she's the one who orchestrates. And of course, with the blessing of the 2 administrators of our faculty, Dean of Social Science, I'm not sure whether she's here, but the Vice Dean is here. Maybe we should give both the blue stars and the purple star applause. Thank you so much. And the Vice Dean said that tomorrow all of the blue star can have a holiday. So there are many people whom I should also thank here, but time is limited. But again, thank you very much, all of you, for coming and to make this conference a success, enjoyable and memorable. So remember ASPA at Chiang Mai University. Thank you very much.
I am permitted last speaker, also in the sense of toward the future, Yokohama World Congress will have some words after my very short reflection. It has been quite some months since I have met Professor Surichai in some time ago, but also last year, the year before in the Philippines. And immediately I consulted Professor Achayan, and you can see that under his intellectual and moral leadership, we have come to this. And you can join with me in feeling that we are very much gratified that we are getting new friends, sharing new issues, and in not only among people from different countries, but in the sense of human solidarity beyond nations, beyond ethnic concerns. I think we have come to this level. So I feel very grateful to Ajahn Chean and the team, and also Chiang Mai University that have taken the leadership in the whole issue. Now, just to say that Bangkok, my university now has, although it has many gates, but only one gate is open every day. Because we are in the context of a very, very large people's assemblies. One of the, so far in Thailand, maybe biggest mass movement ever. While we are not certain where we are going, but the birth of this movement signify something serious about public or citizen concern with unaccountable political decision making by the parliaments. Now, but we are caught in, I would like to say that sometimes we are caught in that context of uncertainties, or sometimes some new elements in movement is going on in Thailand, but still uncertain. So, but sometimes I also feel very powerless that we as sociologists, we as academic could not do that much in the context of these very difficult challenges of democracy and how we deal with globalization of the kind that does not really deal humanly with marginalized people and issues that most concern us, that made me come to this meeting. So here, frankly speaking, I have been caught up by self-fulfilling prophecies. People feel that we are caught in civil war. We are caught in war mentality of people of both camps. But with your presence and with exchange from the transboundary issues, from the transnational issues, from the issues that you have reflected through different researches, I think we can feel something of sharing beyond the existing borders of our powerlessness. Here I feel, and I would like to ask toward the future, what forces will shape our future? What forces will shape our future? The forces of capital, of competition, the forces of hatred, forces of the feeling very negative about each other in the political conflict. Will that survive? Our vision has been much diminished because of the context of violence and conflicts that we have had. the platform, intellectual platform opened by this conference is one of the examples that open up my sense that we really have to deal with these self-fulfilling prophecies by being more active on our agenda of self-destroying prophecies. We will have a more healthy debates and dialogues into the future, not allowing our future be decided by only formal elections alone. Elections are needed, but we need to deepen the process of democratization, not only in politics, but also in other sphere of the public in the region. I say this beyond the Thai borders, but also related to issues of Mekong, etc., and ASEAN. My second point here is that can sociology become a force? Can our sociology and anthropology become a force to shape the future while it has been so divided, so fragmented in our own society and in the region? We cannot take sociology and anthropology as it is unless it becomes more transformative. Unless we become more transformative beyond our national borders, our ethnic borders, our mental borders. To go beyond that, we need to see how solidarity can unite us to respond to the very important challenge we are faced now. So with these words, I would like to say that we feel, I personally feel that we are feeling much better from powerless to feel that we have friends who share the agenda into the future. And for this, I think us working in universities, with civil societies, with movements across could also unite in sharing our agenda into the future. And for this, I also would like to say on my friends, colleagues' behalf, Dr. Abhichat Jamratlitirong from the National Research Council of Thailand, who is present here. We are trying to bring our discipline to face the challenges of the intellectual challenge of our time, as well as the professional issues. In that, we do need your friendship. We do need your critical friendship as well as your solidarity so that we can work more meaningfully together. And with that, I would like again express my gratitude on behalf from my friends at Chula who could not come here this time. So thank you.
Okay, my name is Shujiro Yaza from Japan. Professor Surichai and so many people introduced me as a president of Japan Sociological Society, but it's not true. I am an ex-president of Japan Sociological Society, but in any case, you know, current president of Japan Sociological Society does not go abroad quite often. Instead of him, I'm going abroad quite often. So in a sense, I'm a representative of Japan Sociological Society. So in that sense, on behalf of 3,600 members of Japan Sociological Society, I would like to express sincere sociological solidarity with sociologists in Asian Pacific Sociological Association and sociologists in Southeast Asia. attending this conference from the beginning of the end, I enjoyed attending this conference. I have learned a lot from marvelous presentation by so many, not only young, but also like me, old sociologists. Well, it's very important, but from the beginning of this conference, at the end of this conference, I'm thinking one thing. Sociologists may be a body, natural body, speaking language, using language, and based on specific time and space, concept. So in that sense, each individual sociologist understanding of society is different from, various sociologists, of course, based on specific time and space category. So if so, we need a very good conference to, communicate with each other. And people might think communication is quite easy, but it's not the case. In order to have real communication, we have to fight against, or we have to fight so many things, about so many things to, synthesize our understanding of society. So in that sense, sociological association and international conference is very important. In case of, Asian Pacific Sociological Association, I knew Professor John Weston because both of us were members of executive committee of International Sociological Association during 1990s. So with Professor Weston, for example, in Rome, we lost the way to the hotel. So at that time, I was so frightened, but Professor Weston told me, just calm down. So let's drink a cup of cappuccino. So we did it, and finally we found a way to the hotel. In the sense, so I knew Professor Weston quite well, and of course, in the case of Southeast Asian region, I know this region through Professor Surichai. He is a long-time friend with me. So in that sense, I am very exciting to attending this kind of conference, but the problem is, in a sense, I'm an outsider from these conferences. But why I'm saying outsider? Because, time and space category is relatively different from myself. For example, in East Asia, we are organizing various East Asian sociologists conference. For example, Japan Sociological Society has a formal exchange program with Chinese Sociological Association and Korean Sociological Association and the Taiwanese Sociological Association. So quite often we are organizing East Asian Sociological Conference, but in East Asian Sociological Conference, time and space categories are relatively different from, categories of Asian Pacific Sociological Association and ASEAN regions conference. So, of course, it's a different, but it's very important to understand what is the difference between these three. and how to communicate with these three, that is most important thing. And also, for example, of course, East Asian region, we have sociology in Japan, Japanese sociology, and Chinese sociology, of course, Korean sociology, and Taiwanese sociology, of course. But in East Asian region, we are looking for East Asian sociology, not national sociology at all. Of course, first of all, we have to compare the tradition of Taiwanese, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese sociology. But after that, we have to find out common ground, and we have to define as a concept, not regional category, what is East Asia? East Asia as an intellectual concept. Without understanding, East Asia as an intellectual concept, East Asian sociology means nothing. So in that sense, it's not a regional concept at all. So in that sense, it's also in the future, it's same to ASEAN sociology. Of course, there are so many different traditions and different nationality, but in the final analysis, we have to define, East Asia as an intellectual concept. And ASEAN is an intellectual concept, not only regional concept. That is the most important thing. So we are preparing for this kind of work. And from this work, of course, we have to define. So in a sense, in East Asia, of course, nowadays, there are so many conflicts within East Asia. And the main current. Yeah, but in academically, as a sociologist, we are always talking about integration of this region as an intellectual concept. Of course, we are against the main tide. Yeah, but that is the most important role of a sociologist, because the president of Asian Pacific Sociological Association told us at the beginning of the conference, our tradition is not Euro-centric sociology. In a sense, we are against, but not only against. We have to go beyond. We don't want to particular sociology. We don't want to give particular sociology. We have to produce universal sociology based on regional understanding. So we are doing this kind of work in the various conferences. Of course, it's not easy, but we have to define the East Asia as an intellectual concept, and also we have to compare this kind of understanding with different traditions, and especially we have to give something to Western Eurocentric social science. Otherwise, it's not so good. So in that sense, we have to give a different sociology to European or American social science. In a sense, it's not a particular things. We have to produce universal social science based on this region. So, and also, one of the most important things from this discussion may be the main concept in East Asia, like, for example, we are using a kind of concept of hybridization. Hybridized society in Japan, in Korea, in Taiwan, in China. Of course, from time perspective, always hybridized. Of course, Japan, the first nation to modernize Japanese society, but without hybridization between Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan, or beyond, Thailand, Vietnamese, so many kind of hybridization. Without hybridization, it's impossible for us to modernize Japanese society. So in the category of time, always hybridization. And of course, in the age of globalization, of course, global society is a very, very hybridized society. So in that sense, by analyzing experience in East Asia, we got a kind of a concept of hybridization. So we would like to extend, we would like to elaborate this kind of concept. Of course, it's not only hybridization, but also we are producing so many concepts. We have to elaborate these concepts. In any case, for example, I gave you the concept of hybridization. And finally, we have to define identity of East Asian region. That kind of work we are doing in the various conferences. So in this sense, of course, an East Asian sociologist effort and various effort in Asian Pacific Sociological Association and in this region are relatively different, but how to proceed is almost same thing. I completely agree with Professor Surichai's self-fulfilled prophecy. Without this one, it's impossible for us. We would like to pay attention not only past, present, but also future. Without considering future, it's impossible for us to take a very good role to, produce knowledge in society. So in that sense, again, on behalf of East Asian sociologists, I would like to express a deep and very, very enthusiastic sociological solidarity with sociologists in this region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that closing speech. So without further ado, for those of you who haven't yet received the receipt for the registration for this conference, you can contact at the registration desk at the ground floor. And just last announcement, we are more than welcome you to return to explore more nocturne hospitality in the near future. And for those of you who still have some energy left, tonight is going to have the Sunday walking street for you. So you can explore the diversity of local handicraft to bring back home. So with that, I wish all the participants, all the distinguished scholars, thank you for the organizer and wish you the safe trip back home. Thank you very much.